China's publication of a new map that features a so-called 10-dash line claiming nearly the entire South China Sea prompts the Philippines to file yet another diplomatic protest.
It's the first time that a China People's Liberation Army Navy ship, is it the first time that it shadowed a Philippine vessel that was trying to resupply Rizal Reef?
A game-changing move is shaking up Southeast Asia as the Philippines prepares to unveil a fresh official map, one that doesn't just redraw lines, but sends a clear message straight to Beijing. This isn't about tweaking borders, it's a direct challenge to China's sweeping claims over the South China Sea. Leading the charge is the National Security Council, drawing on the 2016 Hague ruling and the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea to back its stance. What's the plan? To release an updated map that firmly reclaims Philippine maritime rights and pushes back against China's infamous 10-dash line, that bold, sweeping claim that tries to wrap nearly the entire South China Sea in Beijing's grasp. The armed forces of the Philippines see this map as more than lines on paper. It's a cornerstone. This map sets the stage for protecting marine life, securing critical shipping routes, and driving national conservation efforts.
And we're now joined by Colonel Medel Aguilar of the Philippine Armed Forces.
Colonel Medel Aguilar, AFP spokesperson, stresses it's not just about cartography, it's about identity and responsibility. It's a vivid reminder that these waters aren't random blue blobs. They're lifelines fueling Filipino culture, commerce, and sovereignty. Meanwhile, the Philippine Senate is crafting its own revised official map, clearly staking claims on areas like the Calayan Island Group, Scarborough Shoal, Macclesfield Bank, the Benham Rise region, and the West Philippine Sea, all within the country's 200 nautical mile exclusive economic zone. Beyond that zone, it's called the South China Sea again. This update marks the first government-issued maritime map revision since the 2016 international ruling tore apart China's original 9-dash line, now expanded to 10. That ruling made something crystal clear. Many of the Spratly Islands fall inside the Philippines' exclusive economic zone. These waters belong to the Filipino people. But the story isn't confined to the West Coast. Far to the east, the United Nations greenlit Manila's request to extend its continental shelf beyond 200 nautical miles off Luzon Island, a sprawling undersea territory spanning 13 million hectares. Once known by sailors as Benham Rise, this vast underwater expanse now carries the official name Philippine Rise. Despite all this, tensions remain high. In August, Manila lodged a firm diplomatic protest after China unveiled an updated standard map, again claiming nearly the entire South China Sea with 10 bold dashes, this time forming a full U-shape. This controversial version cuts deep into exclusive economic zones not just of the Philippines, but also Malaysia, Vietnam, Brunei, and Indonesia. Before the Philippine map goes public, it faces intense legal and strategic vetting to ensure it aligns with international laws, especially UNCLOS and the 2016 arbitral ruling. Officials say this step is crucial, especially as other nations like India and Taiwan reject China's cartographic power grab. Why does this matter? Because this isn't a petty dispute over distant reefs. This is a battle over control of one of the world's most vital maritime corridors, where trillions in global trade pass every year. Beneath those waves lie rich fishing grounds, untapped oil and gas reserves, and strategic territory essential for defense. The Philippines' new map isn't passive. It's a bold statement, a strategic move on the global chessboard, and the world is watching closely. This week brought a fresh wave of protests across Asia after China released a new version of its official map, boldly expanding its claims and redrawing lines that fuel conflict on land and sea. At the heart of the storm is the infamous 10-dash line, but the map's reach goes far beyond the ocean, spilling into contested regions like India's Arunachal Pradesh, Aksai Chin, and even parts of Russia's Bolshoi and Ussuriski Islands. A newly added dash east of Taiwan hints at ambition stretching even further. The backlash was swift and fierce. At least 6 countries, including the Philippines, India, Vietnam, and Malaysia, have pushed back with strong objections. In India, Outrage flared as China's map encroached deep into its Himalayan frontier, reigniting long-simmering tensions. Military experts are also sounding alarms that China may be eyeing Japan's Ryukyu Islands, fueling unease in Tokyo. Back in 2016, the Philippines took a stand. Manila challenged China's 9-dash line at the Permanent Court of Arbitration and won. The tribunal delivered a decisive ruling declaring China's vast maritime claims lacked legal basis under international law. But China came back louder, adding a 10th dash and pushing claims further than ever before. The day after China dropped its 2023 standard map, the Philippine Department of Foreign Affairs rejected it outright and doubled down on defending national sovereignty. And the Philippines isn't stopping there. Behind the scenes, a new national map is in the works, one that's sure to spark even more debate. Among its bold claims, the territory of Sabah, sitting on the north tip of Borneo Island. Though Sabah officially belongs to Malaysia today, the Philippines holds a historical claim dating back centuries, anchored in royal treaties and colonial history. To follow that claim, you'd have to go all the way back to the 15th century when Sabah was part of the Sultanate of Sulu. Back in 1658, after lending a hand to Brunei in a civil war, the Sultan of Sulu earned control over northern and eastern Borneo, a big prize. Fast forward to the 1700s, and foreign powers showed up on the scene. In 1761, British officer Alexander Dalrymple struck a deal with the Sultan of Sulu, opening the door for European influence. Then, in 1878, British agent William Cowie negotiated a lease from the Sultan, handing control over to private British interests. This deal paved the way for the British North Borneo Chartered Company to run the territory, backed by the British Crown. By 1888, North Borneo became a British protectorate. The company held sway until World War II, when Japan took over from 1942 to 1945. After the war, Britain reclaimed the land and turned North Borneo, including Sabah, into a crown colony in 1946. Then came 1963, when North Borneo was folded into the new nation of Malaysia. But the Philippines never dropped their claim. Now, with regional tensions heating up and China pushing its own maps, Manila is reminding the world its story isn't finished. Sabah could soon make a return on the official map. What's this really about? It goes way beyond borders. These maps symbolize control over strategic waters, contested islands, cultural heritage, and the power to define national identity. As China spreads its claims, other countries are grabbing their pens too, ready to stake their ground. The next few months could redraw Southeast Asia's geopolitical map and reshape how the world views the South China Sea. When the Philippines won independence from the US on July 4, 1946, it wasn't just a fresh start. It was the beginning of decades-long territorial disputes that still echo today. Shortly after independence, 7 small islands near Borneo's north coast, the Turtle Islands, including Kayangan, Tawi-Tawi, and the Mangi Sea Island, were handed over to the Philippines by British-controlled North Borneo. That transfer was clear-cut. But Sabah? That was a different story. Sabah, a bigger, resource-rich area, stayed under British control until August 31, 1963. That's when North Borneo, now Sabah, gained self-rule, clearing the path to join Malaysia. But it wasn't smooth sailing. Between 1961 and 1963, the Colbold Commission surveyed public opinion in Sabah and Sarawak about joining Malaya and Singapore. They found general support but also some opposition. Unlike Singapore, Sabah never had a formal vote. Despite that, the merger moved forward. On August 1, 1962, North Borneo's last British governor, William Good, signed the agreement to join Malaysia, with the federation set to form on August 31, 1963. But Indonesia and the Philippines pushed back hard. Their objections delayed Malaysia's official formation until September 16, 1963. The plot thickened. On September 12, 1962, a year before Sabah joined Malaysia, heirs of the Sultan of Sulu signed over their rights and authority over Sabah to the Philippine government. Under President Diosdado Macapagal's administration, this sealed Manila's claim. At the heart of the dispute is the 1878 agreement between the Sultan of Sulu and the British North Borneo Company. The Philippines argues it was a lease, meaning sovereignty stayed with the Sultanate. Malaysia sees it as a sale, a permanent transfer. From Malaysia, Sabah's people made their choice in 1963 when they joined the Federation. From Kuala Lumpur's view, that ends the matter. But the Philippines has never let go. Whenever tensions rise, the Sabah claim resurfaces, like waves erasing and redrawing old borders. This isn't about ancient documents or faded signatures. It's proof that past empires and colonial deals still cast long shadows over today's politics. As countries redraw maps and assert control, Sabah stands as a powerful reminder. History doesn't quietly disappear. It lingers. Now let's rewind further to the 1600s, when explorers sketched the edges of the world and empires spanned oceans. One of the earliest and most important maps of the Philippines was crafted by Jesuit priest Pedro Murillo Velarde. Published in Manila in 1734, this wasn't just any map. It was the first scientific map of the Philippine Islands and quickly became a national treasure. This map didn't simply outline islands, it charted the sea routes connecting Manila to Spain, Mexico, New Spain, and other corners of the Spanish Empire. It was a navigational guide, but also a bold statement of identity and geography. What makes this historic map even more captivating? Its 12 intricate engravings, 6 on each side. 8 show the rich variety of the archipelago's ethnic groups. The other 4? Detailed views of major islands and cities. This map was more than lines and labels. It was a portrait of a nation, a window into its people, its lands, and its spirit.